I bet you often, maybe even always, think that you make your decisions based on your values. Well, I'm going to challenge you and claim that you don't, especially under pressure. Hey, Helen Horiza here, ready to give you strategies and techniques to help you make an effective career choice or career change. On this channel, we have models, tools, and techniques that you won't find anywhere else. So if you're new here, subscribe. Now let's jump into the video. Most of the decisions you make every day occur almost naturally. You know when to reflect, you know when to act. And actually, that works out pretty good for you most of the time, except for when you're under pressure. When you're under a lot of stress, then it's perfectly natural for you to click into survival mode. And your values go to the wayside. You don't take an accountable perspective. In fact, you might be blaming, making excuses, attacking other people, exactly what you don't want. So let me give you an example. Several years ago, I worked with an executive and his team extensively. They'd seen my workshops, I had coached this executive directly, and so he knew about accountable decision making and considering his values. One day I was giving a workshop that he had asked me to present to his senior team, and I looked to the back of the room and I looked in the corner and I could see this executive, and he had his arms crossed and his face was red and he was rocking back and forth. He was really seething mad. And so when the class was involved in an exercise, I walked to the back of the room and I stood next to him and I said, "Hey, what's wrong?" And he said, "Somebody sent the supervisors home and they were supposed to be here. And that whole point of this was so that they would be here." And he was really mad. He was clearly ready to track down the person, the poor soul who had made that decision, probably based on a miscommunication. I said, "Hey, what are your top three values?" And he looked at me like, "Really? Now? You've got to be kidding me. This is the question you're asking me?" And I just kind of stayed for a second and he said, "Hit, hit, helping others, integrity, and teamwork, hit." Kind of spit it out. And I just looked at him and I said, "Okay, I want you to decide how you're going to handle this situation based on those values." And then I walked away because I value my life and didn't know if he was really going to get mad at me for confronting him. And the next day, I got an email from this guy, and he said, "I finally got it." He said, "I'm supposed to be accountable and base my decisions on the basis of my values." And I'm like, yeah, that's it. And it took in the moment coaching for a person who's really incredibly grounded and bright to get that he had to overcome his instincts to attack and blame others, which would have absolutely backfired on him. So that's my skill tip for you today. That's my action step for you, is that I want you to be on the watch for in the next week or so, when that anger starts to hit or you start to want to blame somebody for something. And if you could stop yourself in that moment and reflect on your values, take an accountable perspective, I know you're going to be really proud. See you soon.